It is a... I can't do it.
What is it?
I was about to say it's a wearing glasses Wednesday hump day for me because I feel like I got so many stats in front of me, but I just took them off because I don't feel comfortable looking at you, Lawrence Benedetto, looking at you, Greg Braggs, looking at you, the chat, on this Kevin Warren spoke to Jarrett Payton earlier in the week interview discussion, big show Wednesday, damn it, with Brian Billick coming up and some of our other Super Bowl content as well. Mm-hmm. And I've got some deep thoughts about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm fired up for today's show, Gregory. Deep thoughts. Are you ready for today?
No, I'm not ready.
You don't look ready. I don't like your energy.
Well, I had to get your glasses.
Thank you for getting them.
Thank you very much. I'm not ready because I had to get your glasses.
And then he's not wearing them.
You're
and I'm parked illegally in the alley.
Illegal parking?
Well, whose fault is that, though? There's plenty of parking over that way. Like,
Big
what are you
Dave
doing?
told me to do it. Big Dave told me to do it.
All right. Well, you want to blame Dave for your life choices. That's on you. Big Dave, I would never do that to you. I make my own choices, and I take impact from other people, and I decide what's best for me. You decided that was best for you. Don't blame Big Dave. Let's get right into this, Gregory.
Yes, sir.
We don't want to talk about what day it is? I mean, did you notice the set? I thought that was a little, did you notice the theme to the set? It's all sweetness.
Is it Walter Payton's birthday?
Sweetness. No, it's Valentine's Day. So I thought we needed a little sweetness.
Sweetness.
That's adorable. I'm sorry. I missed it. Good job, Lawrence. It is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's to you, my love, Gregory.
Yeah. Love you.
Thank you, buddy.
Love
That's
you.
right.
Love
That's
you.
right. That's right. Me and Braggs shaking hands on the show for the first time and maybe the only time ever. But yes, it
was cute.
It was
Die Hard Discord, they all think we hate each other.
Well,
we love each other.
Well, it depends.
While we hate each other.
It depends on the moment. That is love and hate. You have to have both poles to really, truly come together in a partnership, whether it's a marriage, a dating, and or somebody that you work with every day on a podcast that is enjoyed by at least a couple of people. Hi, buddy. So, happy sweetest day to you too, Lawrence.
No, not sweetest
day.
It's Valentine's
Whatever.
Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to one and all.
It's the major Hallmark holiday.
It's a good, you know what? All right, I want to get into the Warren thing, but let me just make a pointer. Like, somebody said to me, and I've heard it a zillion times, it's a fake holiday. What exactly would be considered a real holiday?
Santa is real.
Okay, that's real. Right. No, I'm sure.
I mean,
I'm sure that was exactly when everything happened as far as Jesus and everything. I'm not an expert on the subject, but is that a real holiday? Easter, he rose up on that day. We sure? Has anybody gone? Was anybody there? Could speak to it? I'm not sure. There's no such thing as a real holiday unless you want to say MLK Day because that's when he was born.
Yes.
Right. That's a real holiday. What else we got?
President's Day is when the presidents were born.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I believe St. Patrick's Day is a meaningful date. I don't really know, but I mean, Valentine's Day was just made up.
I think it's
just to sell cards and candy and flowers.
Is Christopher Columbus a real person?
Honestly, the only real holiday is the Super Bowl. Period. That's a real day. The
4th of July.
The 4th of July.
Sure,
Sure.
The independence of the great. I mean, but why was it that day? Because that's when the Declaration of Independence happened.
Apparently.
Okay.
Reportedly.
I'm dealing with you're dealing with two people that graduated high school with an under 2.0 GPA, so it's a problem.
My mom's in the chat saying Greg better bring Jenny flowers.
He's got a whole potpourri of things, I'm sure, somewhere in this car that's also got weird things in it that I experienced yesterday.
There's a bunch of stuff over here, Mom, there's a nice flower shop around the corner. I may have stopped by there before I came in.
How overpriced was it? That's my question. How overpriced was it?
It's not about the price. It's about the love.
It kind of is, though. You could get flowers any day of the week. But
My point is that this is a great fake holiday, like all the other fake holidays that we celebrate. So don't diminish Valentine's Day. Do it for someone you love. That's more important than anything else. It's about love. Love is important. Living with love. I'm Mark Carman.
Kevin Warren loves Justin Fields.
Kevin Warren loves Justin Fields. Great. Best transition you've ever had in show history.
Nice.
So do we have the Warren quote, or do I need to read that one, Lawrence? I know we have some quotes.
I have a small portion of the 4 paragraphs that you put into our rundown.
Yeah.
Do you want this one?
Yeah, sure. Let me see that one. Let's read this one. Quote, Kevin Warren to Jarrett Payton, our guy, via WGN-TV, WGN Sports. Justin has a rare combination of size, strength, and speed. You forget how big of a man he is until you're up on him. He's not a small man. I just think every year he's going to continually get better, so I'm glad he's on the Chicago Bears. All right?
There it is.
And that was part of a longer soliloquy of Justin Love on this Valentine's Day from Kevin Warren to the Bears quarterback, who is still the Bears quarterback, despite Danny Parkins buying a Caleb Williams jersey. Thanks to Parko for coming on here. All right. So, is Kevin Warren trying to jack up the trade value of Justin Fields? Is Kevin Warren overstepping his boundaries on who he wants to be the quarterback and is going to tell Ryan Poles what to do? Is Kevin Warren just speaking from the heart about a guy that he appreciates? I'll tell you one thing factually correct about what he said, and I think it's a fact, but that's the exact reaction. Whenever I walk up on Justin, not like walking up and I'm like, I got something to say, you're the man, QB1, but just whenever he's around, like, the freaking guy is huge. His legs are huge. He is a big ass dude. And so it's just for me, it was kind of fun to hear Kevin underline that, because that literally was my first reaction when I met Justin, was around Justin for the first time. This guy is a freaking freak of an athlete. Fast and strong and big, and there's not a lot of them. Tyson Bagent does not look like Justin Fields. Neither does 6'5", 6'4" Matt Ryan, who I thought he was,
right.
6.
Cam Newton was walking around Radio
Cam
Row.
Newton is one guy that
Massive
is like massive human being.
Now, that was just his hat.
Yeah, well,
and his hat,
but
makes
I mean,
him look even bigger.
But Cam is a big ass dude. But it's true. But that doesn't have anything to do with where we're actually getting to in the conversation, which is how much impact is Kevin going to put on? Like, let's just say, for argument's sake, that Kevin was like, I want Justin Fields to be the quarterback of the Chicago Bears. Would he go to Ryan Poles and say that to him and tell him, dude, figure out how to get the best trade value, or would he let Ryan Poles do his job? My hope is that he would let Ryan Poles do his job, because that is what he is hired to do. But I am asking the question, because he has talked about how he's going to be very involved. He's excited to go to the combine. He's talked about how excited he was about the draft haul they got last year by trading down, and he's looking at the 85 Bears and how many guys they got in one draft. So do we think that Kevin is sitting back and letting Poles do his job, or do we think Kevin is in the room kind of, just remember who's the president and CEO around here, pal?
Yeah. And before we get into it, I do see Richie asking how to become a diehard in the chat, and I see a bunch of fellow diehards helping Richie out, and Law posted the link in the chat as well. So shout out to Richie and all the other diehards.
We have one diehard that I got to shout out in a minute.
Yeah, that are all pulling from the same rope over here at CHGO Sports. But no, I mean, for me, when I listened to that interview, and I ran it back about 5 times, because we have a tendency here in the media to overthink things and try to read through, quotes and sentences and try to, decipher what it means and play psychologist. But having been around Kevin Warren a few times and watching this interview with Jarrett Payton, he did a great job. I do take what he says at face value. Like, some people are like, oh, he's playing smoke and mirrors, that this is what they're doing to drive up the trade value and this, that, and the other. Like, no, I think he genuinely likes Justin Fields. I don't think that's a huge revelation. They said that when the season was over. The bigger aspect of it to me was when he started talking about the trade back, and Jarrett Payton asked him specifically, like, Ryan Poles has this tough decision at 1 with the quarterbacks coming out in the draft. And his response was, well, look at what we did last year with the pick and turned it into Darnell Wright and Tyreek Stevenson and a future number 1 pick and a number 2 pick and the haul we got for that. And if we could replicate that, then this will be a great thing for the Chicago Bears. He referenced the 85 Bears as a team, that got, built their championship through the draft. Look at how many players on that 85 Bears team were from the draft. And then at one point he says, I'm here to support Ryan Poles, but I also want to challenge thoughts. And so when I hear all of those things together, like I said, I do think I take what he says at face value. I think he would prefer, if it was Kevin Warren's decision, which is not just solely his decision, but I do think he would prefer to keep Justin Fields.
You think that?
I think he would prefer to keep Justin Fields and trade the pick back. Now, do I think that Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles are, eye to eye on every decision that's made in the organization? No, I think that there is some disagreements. And for me, sometimes it's hard to read through that because it seems like they do have a close relationship, Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren. But now I'm starting to see that there could be some differences of opinions when he's talking about, I want to challenge thoughts. And so I think will ultimately leave the decision to Ryan Poles, who George McCaskey, when he hired Ryan Poles and then hired Kevin Warren, said, Ryan is in charge of football operations and he's going to make those decisions. So I believe at the end of the day, Ryan's going to have the final call. But Kevin Warren has a big voice in this room and he's going to make his presence felt on this decision.
Let me read the quote here as to how much he's going to partner with Poles. We'll work together, but I have great trust, obviously, in Ryan, Ian Cunningham, and all of our scouts. And then he continues on. We got this is that crucial time, and they've already been grinding away on it to be able to come together. And here he goes. I look forward to going to the Combine later this month and then getting a chance to spend some time together because we're in a very, very unique space and time in Bears history. You think of the draft Ryan made last year to get DJ and turn that pick into Darnell Wright and then Stevenson, to get those young guys a chance to play, and then trading for Montez Sweat, not only to trade for him, but then extend him. If we can replicate back-to-back years to be really smart about how we handle our draft capital this year, it could be a really special time for the Chicago Bears. We got that on the screen on YouTube for you. And then just to finish off the quote that we're talking about with 85, you look at the 85 Bears, Warren says, how many individuals in one draft came out of that draft? All those starters. So I'm very cognizant and conscientious that I need to be there to work hand in hand with Ryan. Hand in hand. Be supportive. That's different. Challenge a thought process, but make sure that we come out of this draft and this free agent summer going into the year a much better football team. So here, let me give you a couple, what I think are concrete takeaways. One, Kevin Warren is expecting the Bears to make a major leap here in year 3. There is no matter what direction they go, if they go the Caleb way playing with a rookie quarterback, the president, the CEO is expecting victories next year. He talked about moving on from Matt Eberflus or not moving on from Matt Eberflus. And he said that the biggest mistakes you make in life are when you leave things too quickly. And they didn't want to leave Matt Eberflus too quickly. We ripped it down one year. You had one chance of building it back up here. Still, whatever. 2 years, not long enough in Warren's mind. At least that's what he's saying. So, but I do think year 3, he's looking at it like the Bears, my football team, better be winning games. All right. Where I get uncomfortable, Ryan Poles has to make these decisions.
Has to.
It's got to be his call. You can, and I think I'm pretty confident that Kevin gets this, but if you start getting into a Jerry Jones situation here where he thinks that's not what
it's not even Jerry Jones, but just look at our own organization with Ted Phillips. Ted Phillips was the business side of things who got into the football decisions at points. The Bears wanted to trade up for LaDainian Tomlinson. He vetoed that option for the Bears. Imagine what the trajectory of the Lovie Smith Bears had been had they had LT. At one point, they wanted to hire Bruce Arians over Mark Trestman, And Bruce Arians reportedly said he was going to get rid of Jay Cutler if they came in. And they said, no. Ted Phillips said, no, we're not going to get rid of Jay Cutler. So we're going to hire Mark Trestman because he's agreeing with our vision if he wants to come in here as head coach. So that's a business side of that got into the football side of things within our own organization.
Okay, right. I'm going to take everything you just said as dead on accurate because I got to be honest, my memory is not
Sylvie reported both of those things at length. The LT thing, he said that story many times on air.
Okay, fair enough. We don't want that. We do not want that. And we do want what Kevin's doing with the stadium, which is a big part of this piece too.
Yeah, and Gary's right. Chris Ballard was the one that wanted to send Jay Cutler, and they said no.
Okay. Thank you. And now Sylvie was saying that Sylvie was wrong on Arians. So, or Gary was saying that Sylvie, whatever.
Gary's our insider. Let Gary be our insider.
Hire Gary. Make Gary do something. All right. But the regardless of any of past Bears history, going forward, we want Ryan Poles to be working next to somebody who, I love that they talk about how their offices are so close together as if it would matter if they were one floor apart. How hard is it to walk up the stairs or whatever the hell? But regardless, they're positioned next to each other at Hallis Hall. They've got a great relationship. Warren talks about how two alpha males can get along. Well, look, Kevin's job is to hire the Bears general manager and then to let that general manager use him as a support person when he has questions. That's his job. Well, not to and I'm assuming that's how he's going about it. If he's going in there and you know, trying to play Mr. I know football, because we've seen pieces on Kevin that the Bears have put out where he's very involved in the skybox with his wife, watching the game. I won a Super Bowl with the Rams. I know what it's like from doing this. I was over there. I love the year. This dude's talking a lot of football right now, which makes me at least slightly nervous. And by the way, I'm a big Kevin Warren fan. I love that he's in this position. But this has got to be Poles' deal.
Right, but this is where it becomes how they've done things backwards. And Ryan Poles was here before Kevin Warren. So there's that, yes, Kevin Warren is higher on the hierarchy, but at the same time, Ryan Poles has been here longer because part of the interview was like, you know, I've been here for 10 months and I'm assessing things. You know, Ryan Poles has been here for 2 years. So it's a different perspective on how you're going to build the team. And when they hired Kevin Warren, this was the exact quote. Ryan Poles, this is from George McCaskey. Ryan Poles remains in charge of our football operation with complete authority to do what he thinks is best for the Bears.
Way to go, George.
So that's the correct, balance. But at the same time, Kevin Warren he's the president. He has veto power over Ryan Poles. So if he feels so inclined, he can say, okay, I respect how you feel about this, Ryan, but this is the direction we're going to go with this. So I don't know. The whole thing is intriguing. I am taking what Kevin Warren says at face value. I do still think that they're going to draft Caleb Williams. I think Ryan Poles is going to go that route. But this is interesting to hear how potentially these conversations are going on behind closed doors. And this is the first person that's inside Hallis Hall that's spoken publicly about this. We haven't even heard from Shane Waldron yet, who was hired as the OC, here in Chicago. He's been, everybody's like, oh, they're running a tight ship. They don't want anything to get out. And now Kevin Warren is doing another interview, talking about the future decisions of this franchise. So, I'm sorry. It's something that I'm taking of note. And I don't like hearing about how the 85 Bears built. Like, I don't want to talk about the 85 Bears anymore, man. I was 2 months old when they won a Super Bowl. Great. I'm sure it was fun for all of you that were old enough to see it.
It was.
I didn't get to see it. I do not care about the 85 Bears anymore. He also
Well,
references.
do you know what draft he's talking about? Because for the 85 Bears? Because it was 83, the draft. They picked Jimbo Covert 6 overall, which is 3 ahead of number 9. They took Willie Gault 18. All right, so they had 2 picks in the first round. Second round, they took Mike Richardson. I'm L.A. Mike. I play it cool. They don't get by me because I'm no fool. Fly on the field, get on down. All right, that was their second round pick. Third round pick, 22, Dave Duerson. Fourth round, Tom Thayer. 8th round, Richard Dent and Mark Bortz, Hall of Famer and a hell of a guard. All right?
A Hall of Famer in a round that doesn't exist anymore.
Right, exactly. And that basically covers it. So they got Bortz and Thayer, your starting center and your starting guard and your starting left tackle, 3/5 of their offensive line. They got their top wide receiver. They got their top cornerback. They got one of their 2 safeties, and they got the MVP of the Super Bowl, all in one draft.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 starters. So I like that he's referencing 1985 because I was alive and I did enjoy it and it was amazing.
I'm sure
but there is a 0% chance that they do that again.
Well,
0.
and the whole so just on the most general terms, yes, building through the draft smart, but I'm not signing off on passing on the quarterback. I've made no secret here that I believe that is the best direction for this franchise. They need to draft Caleb Williams. And, to me, passing on the quarterback in a quarterback-driven league, it's a much different league than it was in 1985. They cannot pass on this guy.
Well, hold on. Let me just make a point on that because it's really interesting when you consider what the Bears could get from this draft, right? Let's say they do the trade back and they get all the picks. Let's even say they hit the home run of home runs and do 83 again, all right? In 1983, the 1983 NFL draft. Do you know what quarterbacks were in that draft, Greg Braggs?
Dan Marino.
Okay. Well, let me. It's one
Marino.
of the most famous drafts in the history of the sport because John Elway was taken 1 overall. Okay, we couldn't have had him. Fair enough.
Took him 20 years to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, he sucked. He was terrible. And then after Elway, other quarterbacks that were taken in that draft, Jim Kelly was 14, okay? Todd Blackledge, by the way, in Kansas City, to the Chiefs, was taken 1 pick after Covert. So, by the way, you can't ever get a quarterback right in Kansas City until they did. So that's a little part of the conversation, too. And then Tony Eason went 15th to the Patriots, who we kicked his ass in the Super Bowl. And then there was a...
Wait, is this not the Marino draft?
This is the Marino draft.
Okay.
Marino doesn't go till later. Don't worry, we'll get there.
What are these teams thinking?
Yeah, exactly right.
Dan Marino.
Yeah. Ken O'Brien went to the Jets, 24. Ken O'Brien threw for 25,000 yards in his career. It's he wasn't exactly a slouch. And then, yes, 27th overall, Dan Marino, 61,000 plus yards. And if you talk to Bears players, had they had Marino instead of McMahon, who the Bears drafted in 82, had they had Marino with that defense, how many Super Bowls would have won?
6.
Right.
17.
3, 6, 12, whatever the frick it would have been. Now, you wouldn't have had Jimbo Covert or you wouldn't have had Willie Gault, but you would have had the quarterback. So you wouldn't have had Richard Dent. I mean, it's not how it worked out. You could have had all those guys and had Marino if they had gotten it right. You would just have had to have not taken Willie Gault. You, in essence, would have passed on Gault for Marino, and then you would have won 14,000 Super Bowls. So they could have done that. But the point is that they missed on the QB, and they got everything else.
Yeah, I mean, so and this is the other point too, where people equate what I'm saying, where I'm like, oh, they're talking about Kevin Warren. The needle doesn't move as much when he talks about his love for Justin Fields. That doesn't surprise me. Of course they love Justin Fields. He's done nothing but be a consummate pro here in Chicago. He deserves their respect and adoration. The thing that concerns me is when he talks about the trade back. And so that doesn't equate they're keeping Justin Fields, and there's so much Fields versus Caleb talk that a guy like Drake May continues to get lost in the shuffle here. Nate Tice was here with us last week on Radio Row and saying the smartest thing the Bears could do is trade back from 1 to 2, get all these picks, and draft Drake May. And that's where I start to get nervous that the Bears are going to overthink this, like they did with Mitch Trubisky over Deshaun Watson. I've never blamed them for not drafting Patrick Mahomes. Yes, it sucks that they didn't have the foresight to draft Patrick Mahomes, but the more obvious thing they could have done in that situation, taking all the off-the-field stuff that Deshaun ended up doing, once he got into it being a pro, off the page, it was obvious they should have drafted Deshaun Watson over Mitchell Trubisky, and they overthought it, traded up, and drafted Mitch. And so now we're in this situation again.
You're worried about the overthought.
Right. What's that?
You're worried about them overthinking?
Yeah, I just like, and then they're going to overthink this, trade back, get a bunch of picks, set themselves up for the future, and draft Drake May. Like, I'm sorry, I
don't think you need to worry about that particular scenario.
Well, to me, everything's on the table at this point. So
I got it. It's fair. I'm just telling you, I don't think you need to worry about that one. Hey, Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. Killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, best price guarantee. Game Time taking the guesswork out of buying tickets. You know it. You love it with the last-minute tickets, the flash deals, the zone deals. Pick an area. They give you about 18% off on the ticket. They get you in the door. I highly recommend you sneak down from there and go sit in the front row. That's a good move today. There's plenty of seats available at Blackhawks and Bulls games these days. Don't worry about the usher. Just walk on by, act like you belong. Easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. All in prices, by the way. It shows you the total up front, so you don't have to worry about the fees. They're in there, and they're significant everywhere you go. But just do the all-in factor, because that way you're not thinking about what you're paying in fees, because it makes everybody nauseous. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create that account, use that redeem code CHGO. We get you $20 off. You could have gone to the Hawks game last night for free. I was looking right before Game Time.
For free?
For free. It was an $8 ticket to get in. $8.
That's not free.
Download Game Time today. Well, with the $20 off with the CHGO code, it is. Download Game Time.
They give you $12 extra? It's $8, then you get $20 off. So then Game Time gives you $12?
It's just still in your account. Bro.
Stop talking. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
I want to tell you guys about Prize Picks, because they're our good buddies. They helped get us out to Vegas last week, and we had such a magical week out in the Sin City. Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. And, when you're playing against the numbers in Vegas.
Unfortunately, that's been my problem the last week.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anthony Davis, for not scoring 25 points last night.
Instead of battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks, you pick more than or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the most fun I've had, winning up to 25 times my money in basketball season. You select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and place your entry. With basketball season still going, college basketball, NBA, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, DeMar DeRozan plus DJ Moore at a 10.5 combo of 3 points made and receptions. Those are the kind of combo picks you can make with Prize Picks. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured.
I expect you to do Prize Picks tonight. Play it and tell me how you did tomorrow. Let me know.
I expect you to not talk during my ad read. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. How about that, Carm?
Where's Nick?
Prize Picks is really simple to play. I can make my picks and submit my entry in less than 60 seconds.
There you go.
There you go. And this read is probably getting over 60 seconds. So go to prizepicks.com/CHGO and use the code CHGO for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/CHGO and use code CHGO. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Prize Picks is amazing. Try it out. Make yourself some money. prizepicks.com/CHGO. Check it out.
We got 3 supers that are related to the whole Kevin Warren thing. If you want to get to those before we move forward.
Absolutely. $4.99 from John D. Kevin is conducting business as usual until it's not. Be my Valentine, Carm. John D., I'm in there, baby. Let's go to dinner. Me and you. Let's talk Bears. Who's up next? Thank you, John D. And you're probably right. He probably is conducting business as usual, sitting down with JP, having a nice conversation. being positive, sure. Hands down, $4.99, our guy. Good to see you. Hands down, you are the avatar. You are the man. Either way, it's genius marketing move on Kevin Warren's part. Showing support for Justin will only maximize the decision the Bears make. Bear fucking down. And look, I'm not a huge. He's building up his trade value. Like I think people. Ooh, Kevin Warren said this. Now I'm going to give the Bears that first-round pick.
Ryan Poles told Kevin Warren to go to the presser and say this.
I don't think it works that way, and I also don't think it hurts that he's doing that at the same time. So there's a little nuance.
I just don't know why say anything. Like right now is
it's fine.
I just don't say anything. That's how I feel about it.
Okay, you live a little too nervously. He's okay to have a chat with Jarrett Payton. Nothing's in danger.
And also, how many times have we told Braggs to say nothing, but when does he ever listen?
It's totally fine that he sat down with JP. Nothing bad's happening.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about the stadium stuff, and I'm sure that got you excited. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on that. That's fine, but well,
my one thought on that, we don't have to go deep into it, but it was interesting that JP did a great job in this interview. No surprise there. Jarrett's the man, but he pushed him. He didn't just ask one question and then move off the topic. He asked a bunch of stadium questions, and it got to have you considered what the hell you're going to do with the land if you don't use Arlington Heights? He's like, yeah, we have thought about that. Good land is hard to find. That's some good land. It's right by this. It's right by that. I don't know how good that land is or not. I'm not a land expert.
Good land.
I'm sure
good
it's
land off the highway.
I'm sure
solid land.
Good land.
Well, I'm sure it's well fertilized by all the horses that have been.
Yeah, no, solid land.
All right, great land. Fine. But the point is that he asked him that question. He's like, yeah, we thought about it, and somebody wants that land. So I just thought that was. He could have said we haven't gone that far down the road thinking about what the hell we do with it, but he said, yeah, of course, we've thought about it, and it's good land, and we might lose some money, but we'll make plenty back. He didn't say that part, but I think that they're fully living in reality of if we don't choose to go the Arlington Heights route, that they're, well, what will we do with it? And so he's admitting to that. That's interesting to me. Colby Richardson, $5. I think that Poles and Warren would love to keep Justin, but know that if Caleb blows them away in the interview process, they have to take him at number one. It could be just that, Colby. Maybe, they're wondering if they're going to have a Valentine's fall in love when they sit down with him. Or the other way, like we're going to take him unless he's comes in here and it's the other, and it's just turns him off.
Where I just keep going back. Like everybody just thinks it's Caleb or Justin, and leaving out Drake May and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, that's
as
right.
if they don't exist.
That's correct. Because nobody is evaluating those guys with the exception of Nate Tice over. Yeah, well, it's not going to be, dude. They are not taking Daniels. They're not.
I'll never forget the day when the Bears traded up from 3 to 2, and I'm sitting at my house with my buddy.
That was
Adam,
different.
And he goes, well, who do you think the Bears are going to take? I go, anybody but that kid from North Carolina.
Well, you were right. Congratulations. $9.99 from Michael Rodzina. Sorry I missed you in Vegas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were supposed to be.
Michael, I'm sorry we missed you too. Next time, I have a source very close to Kevin Warren that says they are fully intending to pursue Williams and that it would take a historic offer to move off of Williams. I mean, is your source the internet? Because that is what's been reported over and over again. But maybe you have
Zachary. We got to get Zachary juiced up for more super chats today. We appreciate you,
Zachary.
Zachary.
Did he win the war yesterday? Who won the war?
I think Zach won the war yesterday. So if you want to fight Zach today. He's got a lot of winnings from Vegas that he's got to spend on us here in Super Chats. And we appreciate you. $5 Super Chat. Kevin Warren is just saying with any president CEO would say about their current quarterback, field cultists are just holding on to hope. # bear down. So the Fields cult, strike back on Zachary in the Super Chats like you did yesterday.
Fields cult versus Zachary. Let's go. We're here till 2. Not quite.
We're actually here till 1.
Yeah. And then now Zachary doesn't want to have any fights. It's Valentine's Day, man.
Sweetness.
Nothing but love.
We're in the love zone.
Here, yeah.
All right, let me just talk about something.
You've got that love and feeling.
I'll mute you.
Whoa, that Am I all right?
You're just randomly talking in the last 5 minutes. So
Bring back
there it is.
that love and feeling. Put your reading glasses on.
Thank you. I will. They need to be cleaned off here too. It's really embarrassing.
Oh my God. Hurry up, old man.
Yeah. So, and I can see this, so I really don't need them. But this is when I put these on when I'm
smart.
Yeah, when I'm going to really make a brilliant point. All right. So,
be the first one.
Do you know how many times the Kansas City Chiefs gave up 22 or more points last year?
You mean this year?
This past year where they won the Super Bowl? This season? How many times do you think the Chiefs gave up more than 22 or more? Don't think too hard. Just
5.
5. Okay.
I was going to go 5 as well.
Okay. The answer is 4. All right?
Good job.
4, including the playoffs. The most they ever gave up in one game this year was 27 to the Green Bay Packers. All right? Top defense yardage in the league this year was the Baltimore Ravens. They gave up 22 5 times.
Oh.
One more than the Chiefs, okay? My point is this. The Chiefs, not only do they have the best quarterback in the game without even a remote argument, and we can talk about his greatness all time in a second here, not only do they have the best quarterback in the game, but they had an elite defense that allowed them to win their 3rd Super Bowl in 5 years and also make it all the way through the playoffs from the wild card game to the division round to the championship round to the Super Bowl. Okay? So we all picked the Chiefs at CHGO to win the Super Bowl, and we all said, because I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, which was a very pedestrian level of logic, but also like, yeah, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes because he is Michael Jordan football right now. Right. But it also, I just think, when we're looking at this, well, they got to pick Caleb because of Mahomes. He has no chance of being as good as Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to say that right now. Caleb Williams has no chance of being as good as this guy. Well, I'm going to detail some of the Mahomes stats in a second here. But you need the quarterback, a great quarterback, because look at the Chiefs. That's a fair way of saying it. And yes, I get it. We need a really good quarterback. It is the ultimate deodorant for things that smell on your football team. But they also had a really good defense that smelled really good in Kansas City. And Andy Reid now has 284 wins. That's 4th all time. George Halas, 324. Bill Belichick, 333. Don Shula, 347. The most active wins in the history of the NFL, the head coach is in Kansas City. He's got 4 Super Bowls.
Right.
All right. Matt Eberflus has 10 wins.
Right.
Okay. He's 53 years old. Andy Reid is 65. If Andy Reid stopped coaching tomorrow, for Matt Eberflus to catch him by the time he's 65, he has 274 to go. That means he needs to win over 22 games a year for the next 12 years to tie him, which I don't think the Flus is going to do. So I'm not saying that, he needs to catch Andy to be that, but I am underlining that Kansas City, not only do they have a great defense, but they also have one of the premier coaches in the history of the NFL leading them.
And their defensive coordinator was pretty damn good in the Super Bowl as well.
Put that, sure. Throw Spags in there too. And let me say this. In the middle of the Super Bowl, you had Travis Kelce nearly knock Andy Reid to the ground. Now, by the way, if Reid had fallen and he literally was on the ground, like, what do you think happens then? Kelce might actually be gone from the game. If Andy fell.
I don't know.
Well, how he knocked down his coach? And Andy's on the ground like this?
It would have been a bad look. It would have been a bad look, and they would have had a conversation.
Would Kelce just picked him back up? I'm so sorry, and hugged him? Maybe.
Yes, probably, actually.
Maybe. But he could have been like, what happens if he, Travis Kelce's a little bit of a crazy man. What happens if he stood over him? Yeah, motherfucker. You better get me in there. Look at look what's happening with our blocking and everything else when I'm not on the field. Like, they might have escorted him to the locker room. They might have lost the damn ass game. But my point that
he had 1 catch for 1 yard in the first half.
I understand. That would have been a hell of a moment for sidelines to recover by. But my point is that Andy was, even though he was off balance, as he said, he was able to turn that moment into, in essence, a win. If somebody did that to Matt Eberflus and cracked into him, you think the Flus, with his 10 wins and his 2 years being a head coach, would know how to handle that in the moment?
Right. So what's your...
Not a freaking chance.
So what's your...
My point is that...
What you're highlighting is what the Bears still need and what the Chiefs have.
Yeah, my point is that for the Bears to get there, it's going to take a hell of an amount of growth coaching the football team. It's going to take the defense to get even that much better, and it's going to take an unbelievable.
Well, before
it's hard. It is. My point is this: it's really freaking hard to win. Think about what you have to. Think about what the Bears are going to have to go through. You're going to have to beat that guy to win the Super Bowl.
Right. Oh, I get it. And I'm grateful that we're not in the AFC. I mean, to me, yeah, of course, I know Danny Parkins was here yesterday. Like, I'm not in the business of one Super Bowl. I want a dynasty. That's great.
I am in the business of one.
I'll take one at this point. Beggars can't be choosers. You know, it was the same thing with the Cubs. You know, would I have taken a dynasty with the Cubs, you know, after 2016? Yeah, sure. But the one is just fine by me. You know, going my whole life without the Bears winning the Super Bowl is something I'm not really looking forward to signing up for. So to me, you know, Andy Reid, before he got Patrick Mahomes, he had 0 Super Bowls on his resume, and Mahomes, Mahomes got him 3. So they work hand in hand.
But but hold on, he had a lot of victories in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
So right, the point, but that's the exact point I'm making. You gotta have a great head coach.
Yep.
And you got to have a great quarterback.
Yep. And a great defense.
Need
it all. Special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you need the whole thing. There's no question about it. So, you know, I am encouraged because to me, when you watch the Super Bowl back, Trent McDuffie, the cornerback for the Chiefs, was one of the best players on the field. And I like where the Bears secondary is. I'm encouraged where the Bears defense is going. You know, Matt Eberflus still has a lot to prove as a head coach, but he's proven that he can get this defense on a trajectory to be one of the better defenses in the NFL. So, you know, everything's going to hinder, you know, what they do on the offensive side of the ball. There's some big decisions coming, but yeah,
it's a fair underlining that he did well with the defense, and hopefully that'll continue. And I'm glad.
And I don't need him to be Andy Reid or Bill Belichick. Would that be great if he ended up being? Sure. Who was the coach for the Eagles when they beat the Patriots a few years ago? You know, I don't give a shit. Just win the Super Bowl one fucking time. That's all that's right now. Let's start there and then worry about a dynasty.
Nick Sirianni, am I right with that?
No, not.
Was it? I don't think. Was it Sirianni?
When was this?
Yeah,
when?
Peterson.
That's right, Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim. Sales guy, Jim.
After Andy. That's a bad job by me.
Zach Hilborn throwing us a couple supers here about Andy Reid. $10. Andy Reid, the guy the Bears passed on for Mark Trestman. It's tough to be a Bears fan, man. And then 5 more to say Andy Reid never had an all-pro QB before Mahomes. Him and Nagy made Mahomes.
Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick. I mean, I don't know if either were all pros, but McNabb might have been. I mean, he's a great quarterback developer. I mean, when Matt Mahomes came to the Chiefs, Michael Vick came to Mahomes and told him, like, hey, Andy's going to get you right, man. So, yes, whatever they do at quarterback, you know, if it is Caleb Williams, you know, the development is just as integral on the success of the Chicago Bears, you know, as anything. So this coaching staff they brought in on the offensive side of things, Shane Waldron, Thomas Brown, and everything else, is vital to this all working. 100%.
999 from Crystal. Happy Valentine's Day to my favorites. Thank you, Crystal. You're the best.
Favorites, plural.
Yes, buddy. You're in there too. Everybody loves you. Don't worry about it. I'm stressed about these decisions the Bears have to make, but I'm here every day listening and showing love. That's exactly right. This is how you live your life. Live the Crystal way. Law, you know you're my favorite as well.
Oh, thanks, Crystal. Appreciate you.
I mean, the support that you give every day, Crystal, is super appreciated.
Love
Hashtag
you.
Bear Down. Happy Valentine's Day. You want to get anyone else in here before I go on my next great
Let's do
point?
Kevin Carlson real fast.
20 from Kevin. who
And his beautiful
is the
dog.
man as well. I'm a JF1 cultist. I like that. That's what we need. More people need to admit who they are in life.
No, keep reading.
And any other QB for the Bears, I will stop being a fan. Wherever JF1 goes, I go. Totally kidding, because that is dumb. Whatever Pulse does, I'm 100% in.
Tricked you.
I think I have 50-50. They move on from JF1 Bears. Okay. Kevin, I think it's more than 50-50, but maybe it is 50-50. And I will root for Justin wherever he goes to. I just won't root for him against the Bears. Okay. Let me underline a couple of things for you. All right. Hey, Braggs, let me ask you a question there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
You can have one quarterback in the history of football right now. You're down 4 points in the fourth quarter. Who are you taking? Taking Brady? You taking Mahomes? You taking someone else?
Williams. No, I'm kidding. I'm taking Patrick Mahomes.
You're taking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Lawrence?
I think he's still got to take Brady.
He does.
I mean, based on that Dunkin' Donuts ad he did with
yeah, that was it.
That puts me over the top for him.
All right. Well, let me just. And shout out to my guy Nick Wright, who's living the greatest life of all time, apparently, just getting DMs from Patrick Mahomes after he wins the Super Bowl, talking never a doubt, which is completely insane. But he underlined this, and I'm just going to bring it to you. 6 years as a starter for Mahomes, right? He's won the Super Bowl half the times. He's been there 67% of the time. All right? All right. But here's where it gets super interesting. Playoff history. I actually don't need the glasses. Playoff history. All right. When teams are trailing by double digits, when you're down 10 or more in playoff history, all right, teams historically.
6-48.
You shouldn't know this, but that's impressive. Teams have won 11% of the time in playoff history. 11%.
Am I right?
You are right about one of them, all right? 11% of the time in playoff history when you're down 10 or more. Tom Brady was down 10 or more in 14 playoff games. How many times did he win?
3.
You say 3.
I forget this part of the stat.
He's 6-8.
Yes.
All right.
44%, sure.
6-8, 43%. All right. Historically, 11. Brady's 4 times better than the history of the NFL at 43. All right. How many times has Mahomes won when he's down 10 or more in the playoffs?
9.
How many times?
7 times he's been down.
Oh.
7 times he's been down 10 or more.
6-1.
He's 5-2, 71%. He's been down 10, 7 times.
One of them being the blowout against Brady.
He's won 5 of them. All right. Now, the NFL, this is where Lawrence is at. There's been 11 double-digit playoff deficits in the last 5 years. All right. The NFL down double digits in the playoffs in the last 5 years. 6-48, 11%. Mahomes, 11 double digits in the last 5 years. He's been down double digits 6 times in the last 5 years. He's 5-1. I mean, this is like, where I'm getting to is the GOAT argument in a second here. Super Bowl, down 10. Brady's 2-1. Mahomes is 3-1. The rest of the NFL is 2-47. The history of the league, down 10, 2-47, Brady 2-1, Mahomes 3-1. I mean, this is pretty. And I get it's a new era and everything, but like, I just did like the history, and then I did the last 5 years. These numbers, even with the passing league and all, that bear out. Down a touchdown in the playoffs. Down a touchdown. Before Brady, teams down 7, they won 20% of the time. You had a 1 in 5 chance. They've just down one touchdown at any point, 7-0.
Peyton Manning did it against a certain team.
Yeah, that's correct. He hit. But historically, 20% of the time, down 1 TD, you win 1 out of 5. Brady down a touchdown, he was 10-11. Mahomes down a touchdown in the playoffs. You want to guess? It's happened 11 times.
Brady?
No, Mahomes. Brady's 10-11, down a touchdown, under 500, but way better than 20. He's 48%. Mahomes down a touchdown, it's happened 11 times.
10 of 11.
9-2.
Jesus.
82%. 82 freaking percent. The dude, I mean, the rest of the league historically 20%. Mahomes 82%. So all I'm saying is this.
You're cooking today, Carm. You are cooking today.
I'm cooking today?
You are cooking.
All right.
As the kids would say.
By the way,
Carm is cooking today.
And by the way, as we all know, and look, the guy does it in every which way. He set the record for consecutive playoff games without throwing a pick. That would fall under a game manager, right? Just doesn't throw interceptions, doesn't turn it over. He does that. Well, he also, his first year in the league, threw 50 touchdown passes for over 5,000 yards. My point is this, I hope the Bears are looking at it this way. You are going up in the next 5 to 10 years against the greatest quarterback who ever played the game. I don't care. If he doesn't play another game ever, to me, he's the GOAT. That's where I'm at. We all want to do the count the rings thing. Count the rings is the laziest, dumbest thing where would Dan Marino be historically? He would be like the 600th greatest quarterback of all time. I don't know how many quarterbacks have won Super Bowls in their lifetime. All right, it's like,
well, there's been 58 Super Bowls.
So
I'm guessing some
less
of them
than
have
600.
won.
Okay, but you get the point. Look, and if we do it to, Chicago GOATs, the greatest player to ever play anything in Michael Jeffrey Jordan, let's just say hypothetically that Jordan didn't come back after the 93 season. He never played again. The last shot that was ever hit in a Bulls uniform when he was on the court was John Paxson nailing the three in Phoenix. Would Jordan still be the greatest player of all time because LeBron's got 4 rings and Jordan's got 3? Yes, he would be, because he was better at his peak than anybody else in the history of the game, in my mind. I'm not, you can compile all the stats, you can do it and there's points for that, but when you're just that much better. And if you look at the stats of what Patrick Mahomes has done to this point in his career, he is that much better than everyone.
I'll just say this much so in defense of Brady, because, we also are having, this recency bias with Patrick Mahomes, and there's no question he's on the trajectory, but let's make sure we give Tom Brady his due. He's 50 years old, and still dicing up the league. And the last 2 times Brady and Mahomes faced off in the playoffs, the AFC Championship,
Brady
and
got
the
him.
Super Bowl,
Yep.
Brady got him.
Right.
And Mahomes, you could argue, was at the peak of his talents, where Brady, you can't make that argument. He is at the end of his career, and he still got him. And in one of the years, he's playing for the Patriots. No, he beat him in the Super Bowl with a team in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that he just showed up on in 1 year and made it all the way to the Super Bowl and whooped the Chiefs.
Right. I'm not taking anything away from Tom. I try not to do that. I'm just saying that if you're asking me who I'm taking between those two or between all of them, what does this guy not do?
I agree. I said, if you ask me who am I taking with the game on the line, I'm taking Mahomes.
Right.
Because he makes, like when we talked about, if you put Aaron Rodgers on Brady's Patriots for 20 years, his resume might look like what Brady's looked like. Patrick Mahomes, to me, makes all the plays. And Brady is a technician, and he's the GOAT. He's one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. But Mahomes can do things even better than Brady. And I know that sounds crazy, but it really doesn't sound that crazy anymore.
Zach Hilborn, he's paid us $5 to say he's taking Justin Fields.
Zach's taking Justin Fields with the game on the line.
You take your heart, my friend. Look, and I don't want to break this down to stats because it's just a part of it. But in the playoffs, Mahomes, if you were just doing Mahomes versus Brady, 41 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes, 8 interceptions. That's 5-1. Brady, 88-40. All right, way closer to 2-1. They throw for the same yards per game, 285, 279. Quarterback rating, if we want to go by ratings, Mahomes is 105.8. Brady is 89.8.
Okay.
All right. So
we get it. We got it.
You got it?
We got it.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get the
You were cooking. I liked it. I thought that was
you
brought the stats. You did say leading into the show that you were like
don't bother
encompassed in all these stats. Yeah, you were yelling at me that I was bothering you earlier, and you actually did some really good research there. So shout out to you, Carm. I think you've done a magnificent job here today. The Duke is jumping in here with a couple $50 super chats. The Duke in the house.
Duke, know that I thought of you yesterday and I missed you and I was wondering where you are, and I'm so happy to see you today. Thank you.
$50 super chats thrown around by the Duke. In draft season, truth is so precious that she should always be attended by a bodyguard of lies. everything we hear, whether pro Caleb or pro Fields or anti Fields, if you're Carman Parkins, cough, jerks, just kidding, LOL, is a smokescreen at this stage.
Duke reminding you of the smokescreen. Thank you, Duke. What else we got?
Then he says, the Combine, another $50 super chat, the Combine interviews and trade offers are going to determine the decision. They are playing a delicate game to raise both prices as high as possible. We won't know forever.
We won't know for sure.
We won't know for sure what happens till it happens. So everyone calm the F down. Well, that's not going to happen. I am not going to calm down. I was tweeting about this till 2 a.m. last night when the interview dropped for Jarrett Payton, who did such a great job. And so, yes, I do think the Combine, we're going to get some more finality type answers, and I think an impending move to be made once we get to that week, just like we did last year. But
we learned during the Combine last year that the trade for the number 1 pick was going to be coming quickly after the Combine. That was, polls basically told us that directly. If I'm misremembering, whatever, we got information that we knew that it was going to come fairly soon after the Combine, and that's exactly what happened. I don't know if we're going to get that information this year, but there will be.
I do, because outside of the Kevin Warren thing, which I think was certainly a curveball yesterday, but reading through what everyone's been saying, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, all these guys that, Albert Breer, guys that do talk to people within the organization, saying that they're leaning towards Caleb. They're considering trade offers for Justin Fields. You're hearing the Steelers are a team that could be a team that trades for Justin. So I do think the last threshold is getting the whole organization to meet with Caleb Williams at the Combine and getting to know him as a person face-to-face, having him play darts or mini golf or whatever. And I think once that happens, once they've officially met in a room, because I have a hard time believing they haven't already met in some capacity, whether it's on the phone or otherwise, then I think that's where you'll start to feel the heat turned up on these rumors that they like what they hear from Caleb Williams or they don't like what they hear from Caleb Williams. And the idea that he's going to go in there and tank the interview, I have a hard time believing.
Who's
the idea
saying
that he's going to walk up to what?
Who's saying that?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying, because everyone's saying, well, if they don't like him, like Duke was just saying, they have to go through the interview process. Well, what's really going to happen in this interview process that's going to change his trajectory as the number 1 pick? He could walk in the guy that owned, Mark Zuckerberg walking in a robe, from Facebook and just tanking the interview. I don't think he's going to come in with that kind of bravado. I don't think he's going to walk up to the podium.
Is there video of your interview with CHGO?
There's not. There's a resume, though.
Retainer.
I would love to see that video and just dissect it. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, so the other aspect of it is, do I think that Caleb's going to walk to the podium when he speaks to the media and say, when somebody inevitably asks him, do you want to play for Chicago, is he going to defiantly say no? I doubt it. But, nothing is left off the table at this point.
What are you going to ask him?
What would I ask? I don't want to say what I'm going to ask.
Will you get there at 6
I will be the first person at the convention center standing at the podium that is wherever Caleb will be be the first to ask him a question from our Chicago market. No one will beat me there.
That'll be like Wednesday and you'll be out till 4 a.m.
I probably just won't sleep. I'll probably
just go right there.
Go from
full
Prime.
of cigar breath. And
I'll probably go
whatever.
from Prime. Maybe I'll brush my teeth. And then I'll walk over to the convention center, stand in front of the door, and no one will beat me to the podium. I promise you that.
When's the last time you flossed?
No, I just had my teeth cleaned like a week ago when I was at the dentist. Yeah, I got a full teeth cleaning.
But that's not the question.
What's your
they flossed for me is the answer.
What's your gap space? Let's talk about these things. Hey, shout out to our friend CD1 Price Cleaners. Customers save over 30% on their dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. Other cleaners, they charge a different price for every garment. They don't do that at CD1 Price Cleaners. You want to send in your Justin Fields jerseys to get polished and clean for the 2024 season. If he's still here, do it at CD1 Price Cleaners. Fast turnaround. They can have your order ready the same day or the next day. Other cleaners, they take 2, they take 3, they take 4 days. No. CD1 Price Cleaners, today, tomorrow, they've got it for you. You get a text when your order is ready, so you don't have to think about it. They'll let you know exactly when it is. And they've got all the services: dry cleaning, wash and fold, blankets and comforters, people who don't floss their teeth, tailoring and alterations as well, leather cleaning, rug cleaning, all of it. You want to support us with your dry cleaning, go to CD1 Price Cleaners. This is how you do it. Visit chgo.cd1.com. Link, by the way, is in the description here if you're looking on YouTube. chgo.cd1.com. Once there, you can pick from the in-store coupon or the online pickup delivery coupon options. Get your dry cleaning done with our friends at CD1 Price Cleaners.
That's right. And, it's getting easier for businesses to switch to electric vehicles, Carm. That's something we can all get behind for the health of the planet and the well-being of all of us who share it.
That's correct, Gregory. The electric grid is evolving to meet your cleaner energy needs, and we all move with confidence towards an electric tomorrow. Whether you have one delivery van or whatever the hell you drive over there, Braggs, or a whole fleet of shipping trucks, ComEd can help guide you to make the changes that make sense.
Well, what should business owners do?
People that own Braggs in the Stand should go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about the resources, fleet rebates, and infrastructure incentives available to help businesses go electric. If you own a business, do not wait. Start making a plan today to switch to electric vehicles. It's good for business. It's good for the planet. It's good for all of us. Go to ComEd.com/clean.
You can do it. It's electric. Did you say ComEd.com/clean?
You know I did. Go now and see how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better futuration for generations to come. Thank you to our friends, ComEd.com/clean, making the world a better place. All right, super chats for you.
Are we skipping over interviews
we are.
today?
That's correct, buddy. Well, you want to play Brian Billick?
We can do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
I think it's a good idea to just go to the supers right now.
Okay, that's
tomorrow
what I was thinking. Don't ever question
interview Thursday.
No.
I want to share them with the people.
We sort of addressed this, but Richie's super chat about the
Richie said, afternoon, guys, $10 super chat. I want to be a diehard, but couldn't find any info on how it works. Is the membership for 365 days from the day of purchase, or is it seasonal? By the way, love the show and content. Bear down. Richie, go to allchgo.com/diehard. You get a year subscription. You get a free shirt right out the gate. You get exclusive content like our Bears 100 draft guide, which is, going to get you set up for the biggest offseason in Chicago Bears history. Weekly newsletter from Adam Hogue, who's probably writing one right now while he's sitting on a volcano.
The hell he is.
In Hawaii. You get access to our Discord channel where you can talk all Chicago sports with fans that have nuanced conversation. There's a lot of different aspects to becoming a diehard that help you become a better sports fan here in Chicago. You get discounts on any future shirts after your free shirt right out the gate. Discounts on future events, including our draft party, which should be announced here very soon.
Last year's draft party was a fun time. This year, we're going even bigger.
We're going crazy. I mean, I guarantee it. This year's draft party is going to be crazy because last year was amazing. We were at Joe's on Weed Street on Thursday and Friday night. There was a ton of people that showed up. And last year, our pick was number 9. This year, our pick is number 1 in 9. So something tells me it's going to be twice the party it was last year. You won't want to miss it.
We also learned from our party last year of ways in which we can be better for you. So we're going to be doing that regardless of what the Bears do. All right. AllCHGO.com, become a diehard. We thank you so much to the people that have become a diehard, including our guy, Arnold. Big A.
Yeah.
Arnold.
I wanted to be a diehard.
That's Arnold goes about his life like Schwarzenegger, always stepping up and meeting the challenge, making himself great, figuring out how to get around the corners, through the corners, up the corners. If that makes any sense, you know what I'm talking about. Arnold is the man. Arnold is my guy. And by the way, I have a stuffed animals duck whose name is Arnold, and I'm going to bring Arnold in to hang out one of these days.
Speaking of Arnold, the one thing we didn't talk about all week was the movie trailers. The commercials sucked for the most part, but the movie trailers were very exciting. I know you were during the Super Bowl.
You're talking about the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, they weren't very good, except for the Dunkin' Donuts one. Everybody liked that one.
I enjoyed that one. Yeah.
But other than that, the movie trailers were killing it. Don't give me that look. The movie trailers were killing it. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I cannot wait. May 10th. Let's go.
Great. Can't wait.
All right, Super Chats.
Wolverine making an appearance back. Come on now.
With Deadpool, sure.
Deadpool.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Bear Down Omaha.
Bear Down Omaha, $2. I love Carm XOXO. Love you too, Bear Down Omaha.
You're an idiot, Omaha.
Bragg's off the show. Stop talking. $5 from Brandon Matura. What do you think of the possibility of you trading for Dak Prescott 3rd and 4th next year? 3rd and next year's 4th. Trade down to 2nd or 3rd overall. Get a haul. You want to pay Dak?
Yeah, again,
$50 million a year, Brandon?
This is where my concern is about overthinking this. And I just feel like that is overthinking it right there.
All right, your job is to overthink things between now and tomorrow's show at noon. I want you to come back here with your best overthought of something the Bears can do. Can you do that?
No, I cannot.
Next.
I don't think I can.
Great teammate. $4.99 from Matt W. I think Bears fans need to know Caleb probably won't be Mahomes year one, but rather a taller Kyler will be his ceiling, which is still the number one Bears passer.
Right.
Listen, if Caleb Williams gets drafted by the Bears and he doesn't become the all-time leader in Bears passing, that would be the most disappointing thing of all time.
I mean, the
that'd be
quarterbacks that have come from Cliff Kingsbury or Lincoln Riley are Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray. They're all very solid quarterbacks who all would be the best quarterback in Bears history.
I expect if they do pick Caleb, I expect him to pass 4,000 yards next season. That's right. I said it. 4,000.
Shave your head if he doesn't?
I know. I just predicted it. I'm not shaving my head for that. How's this?
You just predicted it. So if it doesn't happen, you shave your head.
No. $5 from Bear Forever 14. So,
almost got him.
do you guys think you'd be able to have Caleb or Drake, depending on who they draft, come on for weekly shows like Cole Kmet? Would be amazing. I don't think that's in our future, Bear Forever. It's a lot different with the quarterback than somebody else on the team because the quarterback has to talk every week, and, quarterbacks are...
Caleb's a business.
Yeah,
man.
Caleb is a business man. Cole is our guy. We're not moving off of Cole. We want Cole back. Hopefully Cole wants to be back, and that's that. But we will do our best to ask whoever the Bears quarterback is questions at the weekly press conference deeply because that's what Nicholas Moriano does. All right, who do we got?
It's another from Bear Forever 14.
Oh, $5 more. Draft idea. Take Caleb Williams at 1. If the top receivers are off the board, trade down to, say, 14 and take Jackson Powers Johnson. Love it, hate it. You like that? Rookie? Rookie center, rookie QB? A lot of people think that's not the best way to go about their business.
a little tall for center.
Yeah.
At 14.
Well, plus just rookie quarterback with a rookie center. Yeah.
Yeah, put them together for the next 15 years. Let's go.
I am starting to because I was so hung up on Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors and maybe even Brock Bowers at 9 that now I've kind of consigned to the fact that Neighbors and Odunze won't be there.
What are you to the fact?
Shut up. So
did he say consigned to the fact?
Maybe.
Look it up.
Consigned.
Look it up, Mr. Google.
I mean, it's resigned, but that's fine.
Consigned to the fact.
You know what? You Googled something yesterday, and it ended up being a correct phrase. So if I'm batting 500, those are Hall of Fame stats in baseball. To me, now I'm starting to really wonder if at 9, if the skill position guys aren't there, are they going to draft a left tackle? Because we've all kind of they're not going to. They're going to keep Braxton, and I would do that. But now I'm starting to try to get into the mind of Ryan Poles. And maybe the idea of a left tackle and a right tackle being first and second year guys and a rookie quarterback as your foundation on offense is a healthy start. Did you find anything?
No, you got that one wrong, but it's okay. Not even close. But that's all right. We are on for
Dr. Truth. CHGO equals consigned to facts.
Consigned to the fact.
You know what?
It's
not easy sitting up here with so many words in your head.
And I don't mean to be the guy that does that, but that one was so egregious that it just needed to be called out. I've got a whole year before I have to eat $4.99 from Hands Down.
Damn.
Start again with it. I have a whole year before I have to eat crow on this comment.
Oh, okay,
but I'm going there. Bears are taking Super Bowl LIX. Let's effing go.
Hey, Hands Down, I like where you're living. It's Valentine's Day. You got love, and you're loving the Bears to win Super Bowl 59 next year in New Orleans, where it all started, damn it, 1985, right? Season.
Or where it all ended, depending on who you're talking about.
Yeah, more where it all ended. That's a better way of putting it. January 26, 1986. Why the hell not? Hands Down. Let's go. And then one more from Brendan. Here comes the battle. Out of nowhere, Brendan ready to take over. Centers aren't expensive for $5. Enough in the market to merit them having the fifth-year option.
To give, transfer, or deliver into the hands of or control of another. Also, to commit, especially to a final destination or fate.
JPJ in the second round.
Ha! Moron.
Consigned to the fact.
To commit, especially to a final destination or fate. I've consigned to the fact that the Bears will not get Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors. What'd you go to school for? What'd you go to Iowa for? While I was laying the bricks. What was your degree? What was your degree?
I think you should
go. Mr. Wordsmith?
I think you should.
Mr. Google Wordsmith? What was your degree? Tell me what your degree was.
Let me make sure that
I'm fingers up. Tell me what your degree was.
Talk to the hand. I want to make sure that I'm being from somebody who didn't graduate high school is now going at a college grad. Is that what's happening here?
You went at me and now you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. No one has ever said consigned to the fact in the history of English.
I just did, and it was used in the correct phrase. So whatever.
Where's Kevin?
HR can't save you today.
Good question.
Yeah. All right. I got to go. So do you. Brandon, you're probably right. Centers, second round. Brendan, shoot me. Bad job. Brendan, if I ever do that again, Brendan, I owe you $5. Brendan, JPJ in the second round. I'm in all day for the second round pick that we might get for somebody who I'm not going to talk about right now.
Matt Nagy. Kobe Bryant never went to college either. Exactly.
All right. Did Nagy just compare you to Kobe?
Exactly.
Braggs is Kobe.
Kobe.
Okay. Okay. Hey, listen. No, you and Kobe are exactly alike in so many ways. You both got the most out of your abilities.
Thank you.
He became one of the greatest players to ever play basketball. You became a marginal podcaster.
Brick juice, baby.
Cheers. Hey, thanks a lot for being here today. We appreciate it as always. To the chat, you're amazing, Lawrence. Thanks you for producing.
Maybe hit the like button on the way out. We've got a lot of, for some reason, a lot of thumbs downs today.
13 thumbs downs?
I guess that's for Caleb.
We don't have to acknowledge the thumbs down.
Whatever. Hit the like button on the way out if you enjoyed the show today or if you thought it was kind of okay. One of the two. We'll take the like button on that. Nagy, thank you for liking the show. You're the best. Yes.
Sam Macho tomorrow.
I mean, why are you saying that? Because, honestly, we've had 3 interviews we were going to play today. We didn't play any of them.
We are playing them tomorrow. Sam Macho tomorrow. Look, somebody did the thumbs down just because you brought it up. Sam Macho tomorrow. Brian Billick tomorrow. And Nick Moriano back in studio.
I really, honestly, that's literally not
somebody
possible.
Just did another one. 15.
It's literally
Stop talking
not
about
possible.
Talk about what?
The thumbs down.
I didn't say a word.
17.
It was me. All right, that's enough. All right, whatever. We're not playing any of those interviews you just said because you guys are going to talk about something else randomly for an hour and a half.
That's right. I'm here to entertain.
19.
The interviews are on YouTube if you're anxious to get to them. Go to CHGO Sports.
I'm Kenny Powers, you asshole.
27 thumbs down. You created this.
That's very rude. It's very rude. It's not nice.
It's funny.
Especially on Valentine's Day.
It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
All right, stop talking. We got to get off here. This is bad for us. The algorithm does not like that. Stop doing that. Hit the like button. Now you owe us like 100 more likes right now, or else YouTube's going to like kill us. We got to go. Have a great rest of your day. And Die Hard Overtime?
We'll Spread the love, baby.
We'll see. We'll see. Okay, later.
We all silly like the mayor.